Yo, what is really good, future? Oh man, today I'm gonna do a Q&A. So I've been getting a lot of questions on YouTube, and I wanted to pull up some of the questions that could possibly help out hundreds, if not thousands of people. Let's get to it. How do you make time for traveling with your job and everything? So as of the moments right now, I am doing what is called travel nursing. Travel nursing allows you to be a little bit more flexible, which you do 3-month contracts, and it pays out higher on a weekly basis based on your combined rate. You know what that means? I have a video which I'll probably put a link somewhere here. You can check that out. It explains travel nurse pay. It allows me to work for 3 months and take about a month off in between contracts. Cal asked, how many times did you take the boards in the Philippines? I only took it one time in the Philippines, and the NCLEX I took 3 times. Passed my 3rd try. Ava Rogers asks, do I regret becoming a nurse? In the beginning I did. I think it was like 6 months into my career where I thought that nursing wasn't for me. But once I started to get the process down of being a nurse, you know, assessments, charting and all that, I started to enjoy it more, especially when I went to the ICU setting. Shu L asks, I think this is in regards to my build your nursing routine. She asks, so what's your routine like? Let me explain really quick. On the days that I work, I sleep exactly around 10 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 5 in the evening, get ready, take that 1 hour and get ready, eat my breakfast or whatever you call it. I have my meal preps already prepped. I ride the metro, then I go to Sunset Boulevard. After Sunset Boulevard, I get my shift in, come back home, get a workout in, and eat some more, and it kind of repeats. Go to the gym on basically my days off or when I can after work. Hell Heaven asks, what does float mean? Floating means that you will go to another unit, and this is very prevalent in the nursing world, especially if you're a very flexible nurse and have multiple experience in the nursing field. I have long-term care experience, I have med-surg experience, I have general ICU experience, I have neuro experience, I have cardiovascular surgery experience. So I could work anywhere, literally, in the hospital. Con Dao asks, my fear is if I pick up OR as my specialty, it will be very unsafe and hard for me to float to other specialties. OR is so different than being on the floor. What do you think, Genesis? If you pick up OR specialty, you will not be floated. OR is a very different field, and this is a very different specialty. When you're talking about OR, it's not, you know, direct patient care in regards to the bedside. So as an OR nurse, you're going to be dealing more with the operating room. That's the thing, is that I don't think you'll be floated, if that's my understanding, since it's such a different, you know, skill set to be staying in within the OR field. I honestly don't know. That's not my field of specialty. So I hope this sort of answers your question. Renzo Dela Cruz asks, when you go to work at the hospital, what kind of nursing shoes do you wear? I use some Nike Roshis. I'll show you. These shoes, probably have MRSA all over them, but the first pixel asks, yo, thinking about coming back to CSI? Haha. Probably, I'm actually thinking about coming back to CSI. I think I've made more than enough money than I needed to probably come back. Local Vlogger asks, when you first started nursing, were you ever nervous, timid around patients? Believe it or not, I'm an introvert. I don't like to talk much to people unless I know them. And if it's like someone outside who is a random stranger starts to talk to me, I'll entertain their conversation. But it's hard at first because you have to build a rapport with the patient, and sometimes you don't know how to create an establishment or a connection with the patient right away. It takes time to get used to. That's why there's different specialties in nursing. Some people don't like to do bedside, some people like to do the administrative part of nursing, and that's what works for them. As for me, I like to do cardiac surgery, which most of my patients is just 2-to-1 nurse. It's very simple communication. You basically tell them and educate them about what happened or whatnot, and compared to med-surg, which is, it could be anywhere from 4 to 6 patients, and that could be rough, especially communication and just memorizing the names and their diagnoses and everything. Renzo Dela Cruz asks again, do you like your job as an RN, and will you be going to quit as an RN? I like my job, but I think I could do more in regards to education for myself, and that's what I'm working toward this year. You know, as long as you know where you kind of stand in your practice, what you're capable of, you could excel. So to answer your question overall, I'm probably not going to quit as an RN. This is my bread and butter. but do I like my job? I like it. So JR asks, I would highly appreciate it if you will share more information about travel RN accommodation planning or get experience in OR then travel. Which agency did you go to? Thanks. This is a really quick question that I could answer. In regards to travel RN accommodation, a lot of the travel agencies will ask you if you want to have like your own apartment. They will provide that for you, or you could take the stipends and you take that money and find your own place. In my case, Airbnb. I would definitely get experience in a field that you want to go to, especially if it's specialized, and then travel at least 1 year. And what agency am I working with or am I going through right now? I am working with AMN. They're an okay travel agency. Could they do better? Yes. I'm going to answer one more question. This is a really good question, and Moses L asks, welcome back to California, my brother, and thank you for the nursing video. If possible, would you be able to make a video on S-bar calling the doctor? Personally, I'm always trying to sharpen my communication skill in the area. If you would give an example whenever you get a chance, that would be dope. Thanks, brother. Peace and blessings to you. For those who don't know what S-bar means, it means situation, background, assessment, and recommendation. So I was never good at this in the beginning. I was always scared and very timid to talk to doctors, where it's gonna take some time to build that confidence, and based on experience, it takes about a year to get good at this. Not really good, but like it takes about a year to kind of develop you know, your first nursing instincts and your communication, unless like you're the type to develop really quick. But I never really was, and I have a hard time memorizing things. This is what I do. When I am going to talk to a doctor and there is a situation, patient, for example, the patient is experiencing heart pain, I would definitely get a set of vital signs. One set of vital signs. Do whatever it is that you need to do. If you have to call a MAT code, if you have to call like a code, or you have to give nitroglycerin, go ahead and do that prior to calling the doctor. The interventions that you did, interventions like if you're in ICU, you sent down some labs, got a stat EKG, you assess the patient. So you need those numbers. I always write it down before I even call the doctor. I definitely like to write that down. Especially if you're a beginner, write it down, have it in front of you when you call the doctor. The doctor's gonna, sometimes they drill you for questions, what you do, what's this, what's that. If you have any recommendations, like especially if you are in the ICU again, usually what they ask from us is like, what do you want to do about the situation? And then sometimes I'll just be like, well, could we give them some morphine? And they'll be like, oh, that's a great idea. Let's give them some morphine. Boom, pain resolves. But remember, S-bar situation, explain the situation to the doctor, what's going on. The background of the patient, like what other comorbidities or what's been going on with him prior to him having this chest pain. Assessment that you got, like all these lab values, the EKGs, what did they show? Recommendation, like what intervention can you do to make this patient feel better? Always going to want to know what you did with the patient, of course, and what I mean by that is like, did the interventions work? Did they not work? And there's always like a set protocol, so you always will have to look at the protocol. If you guys enjoyed this Q&A, don't forget to leave a comment down here. I will do another Q&A, so what I'll do is I'll answer the questions on this forum, and I think it'll be better that way for me to answer it that way, and I think we'll be able to get more questions answered in that fashion. Besides that, just came back from Vegas, so I'm really tired, and I still have to go to the gym, go get some food, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash the thumbs up button. Don't forget to follow me on my social medias. Please do check out the other videos I have to offer, and I'll see you guys in the next video.